Hong preaches. Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Hello everyone, thank you for joining our chant class for Asia. How's everyone today? Today is the day after Thanksgiving for us who've been busy shopping here in the US. Okay, thank you. Let's see, what shall we talk about today? I notice that Chung-In Sanim is joining us again. How are you feeling, Chung-In Sanim?
Yes, Master.
Yeah? How are you feeling?
Yeah, condition is good.
저희 들리지 않습니다.
Why is it out of focus? Can you focus on him? I want to see his face. Go ahead, speak.
예, 지금 허리를 다쳐가지고 좀 고생하고 있는데 잘 회복하고 있습니다.
I sprained my spine, so I had a lot of suffering, but I'm recovering. Thank you.
So what happened? Can you describe to us what happened to you? I'm sure a lot of people are curious about it.
육체적으로는 운동을 하다가 다친 것 같은데 안 하던 운동을 해서 근데 좀 장요근을 안 쓰던 근육을 써서 다쳤다고 의사 선생님은 그렇게 말씀하셨고요.
So I think I got hurt while exercising. I wasn't exercising for a while, and I suddenly did it. So the doctor says I sprained my lipopsoas muscles.
그게 전부인데요.
Yeah, that's all.
That's all? What did you do for exercise?
여기 보라선원에 있는 그 철봉 같은 거에 매달려가지고 다리 들어 올리기 10개 했는데 그 다음에 이제 좀 잘못된 것 같습니다.
Okay.
So there's a bar in JC, and I was hanging on the bar, and I raised my legs 10 times, and I think that's what happened.
That's not, I cannot sprain your back by raising your legs like that. When you raise your leg like that, you're exercising the front of your,
Can I hear
of your
JC?
core, meaning the lower muscles of your core,
Can you check?
meaning the muscles below your navel. It's not, you're going to sprain your back. How is it possible that it would strain your back? Your legs are not that heavy. You have actually skinny legs.
그 외에는 요즘에 명상반을 4개, 5개 정도 하고 있고 좀 일정을 무리하게 스케줄을 소화하다 보니까 많은 사람들을 만나고 그리고 마스터가 사람들을 이제 좀 도와주는 걸 좀 자제하라고 했는데 좀 무리하게 좀 사람들한테 개입을 많이 한 것 같습니다. 도와주려고. 그러다 보니까 상담도 좀 많이 하게 되고 몸 고치는 거를 좀 사람 몸을 좀 터치를 해가지고 좀 발로 좀 밟기도 하고 그래서 그런 게 좀 타격이 컸던 것 같습니다.
So I have been doing like 4 or 5 meditation classes a week. So I think I overworked because I had the overload of schedules. I met a lot of people, and I should have retained myself from helping too much, but I kind of intervened too much. I did a lot of consultation. I touched people's body, like stepping on them. And then I think that's why I got this.
What? He helped a lot of people, what?
He
Your last
stepped on people's body.
He what? People body?
Stepped on the body. Like stepping on the back of people's body. Like massaging with a foot.
현주, like 현주.
Like Hyunju.
That's Chan or Pure Land? Sorry. Is it Chan or Pure Land? Step on people's back.
둘 다 아닙니다.
Neither.
Neither. Okay. So, you see, this is what happened. Your explanations are not, it's running around, it's not clear at all. First of all, as I said, when you describe raising your legs by hanging on that thing in JC, I know where it is on 2nd floor. Okay, I never did it, but I do it here in the US. Same kind of exercise. I know it cannot possibly sprain your back. Not possible. Okay, will actually put pressure on your core, not your back at all. And so it's got to be something else. But for you, so you see now it's coming out. For you to step on people's back is not a good thing to do. You should stop doing that.
Yes, Master.
Why were you stepping on people's back? Were they complaining about back issues or what?
전반적으로 사람들이 일단 무릎이 아프다고 하고 결과부절을 하고 좀 몸이 아프다고 할 때 보면은 종아리가 많이 뭉쳐 있고 허벅지 위가 많이 뭉쳐 있는데 결과부절을 오래 한 사람들에게 나타나는 되게 전형적인 그 고통이더라고요. 그래서 현주님이 그 몸을 고칠 때 그 사람들을 이렇게 밟는 걸 보고 그걸 좀 보니까 따라 하다 보니까 그 사람들이 이제 몸이 풀리는 걸 보고 그래서 사람들을 풀어준다고 몇 분을 좀 그렇게 같이 밟아드렸는데 그게 좀 그렇게 됐습니다.
So people were saying their knees hurt, their body is sick, their thighs are sick, their calves hurt. So I listened to their saying and I realized there's a typical pain from the full lotus cultivators. And I saw Hyunju when she's fixing people's body, she steps on people and people gets better. So that's why I stepped on few people to make them better.
Are they men or women?
둘 다였습니다.
Both.
Okay. You, as a monk, may not touch a woman.
Yes, Master.
You, as a monk, may not touch men either, because nowadays we cannot tell anymore.
Yes, Master.
You, as a monk, is not supposed to help people that way. It's for doctors. How could you possibly try to fix people? If people have a problem, has a physical problem, has an illness, they should go see a doctor. We're not doctors.
Yes, Master.
Okay? And so, I know you mean well, and you're trying to help, but that's the wrong way to help. Okay? Let me explain to you. You are teaching Chan and Pure Land over there. And part of the Chan training, part of the spiritual training is for them to struggle. The more they struggle, the faster they progress. We cannot force people to endure pain, but if they choose to endure it and choose to follow our training, it's not supposed to be easy. That's by design. They're supposed to experience discomfort. They're supposed to experience pain so that they need to struggle in order to make progress. This is why our newcomers now are progressing so fast compared to my first generation, where I didn't know what I was doing. So nowadays you progress very fast because we are a lot more precise in how we want to train people. Before the first 5 years, for several years of my training, my career, I was experimenting. I was sticking to Master XuanHua, my Chinese teacher's style of teaching. And that's what you do when you don't have a teacher. You follow the style of the way you train by your teacher. And my teacher is a great Chan patriarch, and therefore his method cannot be wrong. Okay, so I followed it. And I was just perfectly happy following it because I have nothing to prove. I'm not his successor. I'm not his direct Dharma heir, so I have nothing to prove whatsoever. I have nothing to lose. And nothing to prove either. And therefore, I followed what we were trained to do. Okay? and actually is a lot more rigorous already than my peers. My peers were scared to insist on full lotus when people here in our country, in the United States of America, complain. It's too hard, it's too difficult, okay? And they fall off, they back out. And was perfectly willing to lose people and not have people come back because it's too difficult for them. And those who tough it out are the ones who were able to progress and continue and keep up with us. But nowadays, we're a lot more judicious, we're a lot more effective, a lot faster. Our newcomers are progressing faster because we know the secrets of training. You don't need to do anything. But right now, what you're doing in Korea is follow how we train over here. That's all. You don't need to add anything to that I do not approve of. Because there's a reason for it. For you to touch people is absolutely wrong. A monk cannot touch people. And people are supposed to struggle. There's some who are not willing to struggle, such as children, such as elderly people, such as people with medical conditions. We understand. We don't force them. And we tolerate them. We allow them to sit in chairs, and sit in a comfortable position, not strain themselves. That's okay. That's perfectly okay. We're not forcing anyone anything. If they want to learn, okay, we can teach them, even without full lotus, without all the requirements, the higher level demands that our style of training typically requires. People can go easy. We can deal with that as well. And it will be a lot slower for them. But at least they'll be guided in the proper direction, whether they're sitting in a chair or not even crossing their legs. That's possible to train as well, even though it's a little bit slower. Okay, we're not forcing anyone anything. But there's no need for you to help people relieve. I never taught any of you how to relieve people's discomfort, whether it's leg pains or knee pains or hip pains and so forth. That's part of the training. Okay, so you have a choice. Either you go slow or you go fast. You go faster, then you have to put up with the discomfort. That's how it is. But you, as an instructor, do not need to do anything about their pain and the suffering. You're masking it. I want them to experience it. So your back pain, the fact I heard you've been paralyzed for a few days, is not because from the exercise. It's not because from your helping these people, stepping on people's back. The help you give them there is minimal. It's nothing at all. It's not enough to cause the back pain in you to the point where you were paralyzed and you were not able to even sit in full lotus. It has nothing to do with you're trying to physically do for them. It's not physical, it's karmic. Meaning they're trying to come to stop you. More importantly, they came to discourage you from continuing to help people. Yes, you have the option of backing down and say, hey, this is too much, I'm doing too much. That's why it's happening to me. You back down, that's fine. But if you don't back down, that's when they attack you. And make sure that you are scared. There's a price to pay when we help people, folks. It's never free. You help people by taking on their suffering. We don't help people. This is not our style. We are not masseurs. We are not therapists. We don't help people by providing them with massages and stepping on the back. I want you to do within our style of training. You never saw me step on anyone's back. Therefore, there's no reason for you to step on anyone's back. You never saw me touching anyone. Therefore, you don't need to touch anyone. Okay? You're helping enough by teaching them, and you see, that's what's happening to you. What happened to you is that by helping people, okay, you carry the burden and they use it. My opponents used it to attack you, that's all. And that's the price you pay if you want to teach my style of training. If it happens to you, what do you think it happens to me every day? How many people can you touch? How many people can you walk? You help people by carrying the burden, the karmic burden. And yes, we have enough. And that's why I'm very pleased to hear that you're in big trouble. I heard you complaining about this, about that, and I said, that's minor, it's nothing at all. You haven't done enough yet. But when I heard that you were paralyzed and you couldn't even move, I said, I like this. If you weren't serious about helping, they wouldn't even bother attacking you that seriously. So don't back down. For you, for all you, whether it's in Korea, whether it's here, when I allow you to start teaching, it's going to happen to you. The more you are helping people, the more aggressive they will be coming at you to discourage you. This is how you need these tests you need to pass. Okay? Typically, most monks and nuns, when they hear of this, they say, this is too much. Let me slow down. Let me back off. Because it's too dangerous. But remember, what you're doing is carrying your students' burdens on your back. That's why you need to have a strong back. That's why they come and attack your back right away, to make sure that you can't carry people on your back to safety. And that's how you help. You don't need to touch people. And if people are not willing to endure the discomfort and the pain and suffering, you don't need to help them. Let them go somewhere else and get help somewhere else. That's not what we do. There are plenty of sunims out there over there already who can help them by holding their hands and talking to them and drinking tea with them and having a nice time with them, make them feel good about Buddhism. We help them by carrying the karmic burden. That's what we do. That's why we need to have a strong back. This is why they attack our backs. Just like they attack my masters, it's just like they attack me. When it happens, it's going to happen to you again. In the future, that happens, you don't need to go see a doctor, because we know we do this kind of work, we're going to get in trouble. We will get in trouble. And when we see a doctor, we pass on our illnesses to the doctor. This is not what we do. This is why I don't go see a doctor. I rarely go see a doctor. Because part of our work is to carry people's burden on our back, on us, and therefore we need to help, we need to take on their illnesses. And you still expect me to step on your back and rub your back? We don't do that. Don't you understand now? When you teach them to do full lotus, to practice the mantras, to recite the Buddha's name, to attend ceremonies, to attend repentances, to sit with you, you are taking on the karmic burden for them. That's how we help, without saying anything, without asking for money. Because that's what we do. Understand now? All of you? He's the only example I use to teach all of you. You want to do this kind of work, you need to have a strong and stronger back. If they attack your back and you don't die, your back will become stronger. How do you feel today?
팔이 많이 좋아졌습니다.
My back is a lot better.
Understand that when you do the Sunim's work, the monk's work, okay, we need to carry people's karmic burden for them because they cannot lift that heavy anymore. So that we need to do it for them. And that's why we need to become stronger and stronger. Because in Mahayana, we want to carry more and more people's burden. Not something that's reasonable and that's manageable to us. You're all young. You should be doing more and more and more, and you pass the test. You screwed up, but you pass the test because this test here, are you going to back down or not? You don't back down, you will progress. You back down, tough luck. Is it clear?
Yes, Master.
If they can't get my master, they can't get me. How on earth can they expect to get you? But they're too stupid to get it. That's why they need to attack each and every one of you who's trying to teach. And that's how we train you. Okay, anyone has any questions or comments? All right. We have nothing to hide, as you notice, because this is a learning for all of us, not just him, but also my other monks and nuns, and the trainees, and all of you lay people as well. Okay, it's no joking matter with us. We are trained; they are trained to sacrifice themselves in order to help others. We've always been doing this since day one. Quietly help. Whether people are aware of it or not, or people are grateful or not, appreciative or not, doesn't matter. That's what we do. Okay? And the rule of thumb is if you're doing a good job, they will come and attack you. To encourage you to back down and get out. It happens to lay people too. Sometimes we let them attack you to help you speed up your progress. So I know for you people, you expect to come to us and expect everything to be smooth sailing. Yeah, it can be smooth sailing and very slow. Sometimes we feel ready for you to go a little bit faster by allowing you to get in trouble, by allowing them to get to you, so that we can teach you how to overcome them. This is a test of your faith. And in the past 19 years, we've always done that. And that in the past 19 years, some people, quite a few people, failed miserably. Even after they received so much help, after they got so much out of chant, they still back down and said, how come Master allowed bad things to happen to me? Master allows bad things to happen to you for your own good. If a parent is overprotective, their children will be weak. You can never call my students weak. The weak ones left and ran away and stabbed my back. Only the strong ones stick around, and the back got stronger and stronger and stronger. You can talk all you want, but ultimately, you have to bear the burden, your own, okay? If you want to make progress, you have to endure the difficulties. Yes, I have a question here. I have some questions. Go ahead, please. Let's go by order on the screens there. Go ahead. Yipan, you should take care of the of calling them out.
Okay, Master, thank you. 我刚才听到您的这段说法，我也有一个问题想跟这有一些关系，但我也不确定是不是相关。我遇到的一个现在的一个困境就是在工作中，我要和团队一起去合作。我的这些团队有一些是其他小组的，有一些是内部小组的。在合作的过程中，能听到很多的抱怨。在工作推进中，当我听到这些抱怨的时候，或者一些谣言的时候，我是不知道该怎么处理的，因为我自己内在会觉得不应该有那么多的抱怨，是应该去做事情。但是遇到的这些情况的时候，我又会容易被他们给困住。我在想，那我是应该让这些抱怨不停的发生，还是说我也跟着一起去抱怨
？Would you like me to translate, Master?
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead and translate. Help translate, please.
So Yepan said now he works in the team setting. Sometimes there are people from other teams, that's the team member from his own team. And there were people complain or they spread rumors. And he said he doesn't know how to handle this. And I shortened a little bit. And so he asked Master for advice. Thank you.
I need more details.
我的团队和我相关的团队，他就会遇到问题的时候，他会说遇到了有一些 risk 是依赖到其他的团队，这个时候他就会抱怨其他的团队没有认真的工作，或者是说抱怨老板没有去解决这些 risk。然后就会说这些团队或者是老板，是那种很傻的，或者是自私的，有这样的一些抱怨。我也担心别人用同样的方式来抱怨我。
So he said when he's working with teams, there are other teams, when they face the problem and they face some risks or challenges, so they will say they didn't get enough support from the supervisor. And so they will say the supervisor, their team is stupid and selfish. And Yepan, he worries himself and being complained, like what he's heard other people complain about.
Complain about what? I don't understand the nature of the problem.
So the other team complain and they couldn't cope with the risk, the task, because they didn't get enough support. And so they blame others for being stupid or selfish.
What does it have to do with him?
这跟你有什么关系呢？师父问叶潘。
我担心这样的氛围是没办法去，因为我们现在的项目是一个非常有挑战的一个状态里面。如果大家都在不停的抱怨，那其实就这个团队没办法很好的合作。
He was saying that when he heard that other teams start complaining, team members start complaining, he feels they shouldn't be complaining. So he had worries arising and wondering if what should he do.
When people complain in a team, that's the supervisor's or team leader's problem, not your problem. You as a team member are only responsible for your part of the contribution. You know, you don't have to worry about how they work together. It's not your job. So I don't understand why that should be a worry. Is there something else I'm missing? It's not your job to make sure that they work together well together. Not at all. Your job is do your part of the work inside of the team. It's the team leader's job to ensure cooperation. The supervisor's job to ensure completion. So I don't understand why that should be your problem, your concern that they complain that they can't work together. Just do your job. None of your business.
我现在的一个角色是团队和外部其他团队的一个接口，然后来自团队内部的抱怨和外部团队对我们的一些抱怨或者是指责依赖这些事情，其实我感觉我是有责任要去处理的。但我又觉得我好像处理不好。
So he is actually representing the company. So he's the window. He's the person that's he's the window for the external teams to contact. He's the point of contact. So when he hears the complaints from both sides, he feels that it's his job to address the complaints. But he doesn't feel that he's addressing them very well.
And get the two sides together and talk about what they're unhappy about. You have to be clear about what they're, how. I don't have enough details to really be able to help you there. Because basically, I don't know what they're complaining about, and they're complaining about who. Is it a person? Is it a procedure? Or what? It's just professional stuff. Usually for us as a team leader, we put the people together in the same room and say, okay, we need to get this, to work this out. If you're unhappy about something, now is the time to talk about and iron it out. Because we need to deliver. Okay, it's not people, whether people complain or not, it's always be the case. People always complain. Okay, but they also, especially nowadays, want to make sure that the work gets done. If not, you'll be fired. So that's why people can't work together. Then you put them in the same room and talk about what they disagree about, how to reach agreement to work together. And if that doesn't work, then you get your boss to sit in the same meeting and get advice from him. How do we fix this problem? So I still don't understand. I don't understand the nature of the problem. It's too general, too vague. All I'm hearing is he's worried. Worried about what? Same thing. You come to your boss and you say, I'm worried. That's not going to help you. If you have a problem and you're the window or a door, doesn't matter. You have to get the people who disagree, who complain, to come in and talk about it. Talk over the things or the people they're unhappy about. That's all. People whine and complain. This is what happens nowadays. People whine constantly. And that's why this is your chance to shine, because you don't whine and you fix problems. But don't be afraid of people whine. They should whine. They should let it out. They should complain. They should whine constantly and worry constantly. You just make sure they get in the same, all these people in the same room. They complain about each other. For example, your question is so vague. What are they complaining about? You cannot come to your boss and talk like this. You have to be specific. You say, this person complains about the other person. This person complains about this computer system. This person complains about administration being too slow. This person complains about their expenses not being reimbursed quickly enough. The person complains about the budget's too low. It's very specific. You can't say, boss, this person complains. You look very bad, you talk like that. It's very specific. You have to be problem specific. You can't talk like this to your boss, because he's going to ask you the same question I'm asking you. Who is complaining? About what? When? How often? Answer those questions before you go any further. Okay? Next. Any other questions?
Yeah, Master.
Okay. No more questions? Okay. That's, I have 15 minutes, so that's going to one short one. Okay, 2:16, perfect. Okay, let's do a Master Wei Yang thing. For his personal use, a donor offered silk. Master Yang Shan asked his master, Master Wei Shan, you receive such offerings from a donor. How will you pay it back? And Master Ling Yo knocked the Chan meditation bed. Master Yang Shan said, how can you take the common property for your personal use? So they use the translation is more polite. How can the master take common property for his personal use? Yeah, that's a Chinese thing, but we explain it American style. Okay, we personalize it. All right. So what it's talking about is a donor offered silk. First of all, folks, silk is made from killing a lot of these cocoon things, and therefore, for the Buddhist monks, the pure ones don't wear silk, supposedly. Okay, yeah, you wear wool, for example. You shear the wool off. At least you're not killing anyone. It's still reasonable. But silk, please don't offer silk to for us to make clothes out of. Okay, and so. But many of the clothes, for example, I noticed the clothes from Japan. They're very nice, and you can tell it's silk because it's light. It's very warm, okay, and it feels very nice against your skin, okay. Anyway, his donor offered silk, and Master Wei Shan received it, accepted it. Okay, it tells you that. At his state, Master Wei Shan doesn't mind, okay? But for low-level monks and nuns, please refrain from offering them silk, okay? People like me, you give me silk, I will sell it. Okay, I try to sell it, and Master Yang Shan accepted the offering. So Master Wei Shan accepted the offering, and Master Yang Shan asked, Master received this type of offering from a donor. How will he pay back? And this is a spirit. Even you see, even the Chan practitioners, they are very, very conscious of offerings. I don't want you, monks and nuns, to think that you sit there, cross your legs, and wear your clothes, the Sangha clothes, and you can receive offerings. Okay, and Master Yang Shan here, even back then, this is a long, long time ago, folks. They were poor. They didn't have a lot of surpluses. They don't have a lot of money. And so he saw, and clearly at the time, Master Wei Shan was famous and was well respected. That's why someone would offer silk to him, okay, sign of respect, sign of appreciation, okay. But Master Yang Shan, even at the time, he was aware of the big picture, cognizant of the big picture. He says, even you, great master, when you receive an offering, you have to pay back. Meaning that all of us, monks and nuns, when we receive anything at all, we have to pay it back. So don't feel that, and this is somehow since that time until now, it became in Buddhism that you can sit there and are able to accept offerings from people. Back then, Master Yang Shan taught us already. He's aware through Master Wei Shan's teaching that you're supposed to pay back whatever you take from the donors. Not just some silk, could be food, could be money, could be anything. If you accept from a donor, then there's a karmic debt there, and you have to pay back. And the karmic debt carries interest. You don't pay it back, the interest will keep on growing and growing and growing. Okay? Yes, there's a question from Jumi there.
마스터, 빚에 대해서 질문이 있는데, 지금 마스터께서, 스님들, 제가자한테 받은 것에 대해서 설명을 해주셨는데요. 일단 한번 끊을게요. 아니, 그러니까 지금 좀 전에 설명하신 거는 스님들께서 제가자한테 받은 빚에 대해서 설명을 하신 거잖아요.
So, Master, I have a question about the debt. You're right now explaining about the debt Sangha receives from lay people.
근데 제가 질문하는 거는 제가자인데, 선지식이나 승가로부터 어떤 보호라든지 개입이라든지 이런 거를 받았을 때 한 번 더 끊을게요.
But what I want to ask about is the lay people receiving protection or intervene from receiving from Sangha or from a good knowing advisor.
네, 그랬을 경우에 물론 이제 논리적으로 생각을 해보면 차별 없이 중생을 돕는다고 하셨고 또 진전을 하고 인스트럭션을 이행하면서 보답할 수 있다라고 생각을 해왔어요. 네.
So if you think about it logically, you said you help living beings without discrimination. So by progressing ourselves and following your instruction, we can pay back. I thought that way.
이제 제가 질문하는 포인트는 좀 전에 스님들이 제가자들로부터 받은 그런 지원은 이자까지 쳐야 된다고 하는데 그럼 이런 제가자나 또는 제자의 입장에서 스승으로부터 받은 거를 어떤 그 빚은 어떻게 되는 건지 제가 질문 드리는 겁니다.
So what I want to ask you is this. You just said that Sanghas, when they receive offerings from lay people, you have to pay the debt back with interest on top. But what about the disciples receiving help from the teachers? What about those debts?
I don't know about the other temples, but our temples, when we help you, is for free, 100% free, if you believe it or not. You don't have to pay back. We're not in the business of helping you in order to get payback. No worry about that, okay? Rest assured that you have nothing to worry about, okay? Because this is how we function since the days of Master Weishan, Master Yangshan. This is our tradition. We help people, we teach people, we help people without expecting anything back. You don't expect people to be grateful, don't expect people to understand and recognize it. We can't care less. Okay? But we only worried about, for us, okay, why do you worry about paying back? Because everything, the fact of the matter is nothing is free in life, okay? It's only because when donors give us silk, give us something, they do expect something back. When we give it to you, when we teach you Chan, we teach you Pure Land, we help you, give you free lunch and free food and free lodging, whatever, it's because we expect nothing back from you at all. That's a difference. When you give us something, you expect us to like you more, you pay, you give us special access, give you special access to us, to Master and so forth. That's what some of my disciples are doing. You know, say, you should be nice to me. That way, when you have a problem, you talk to me. I can get Master's ears right away, and he will address your problem, okay? So these people are plotting for their own profits using me, okay? They owe you. Okay? So that's why you have to give them money, you have to give them good food and take them to restaurants. That's what Sunims do. That's what monks do. Okay? We don't do that. Okay? So if they do that, they go out of our style of training, and they use the climate conditions and use me, use our people, use my abbots to get some special consideration from you. They owe you. But when you give silk to the Sangha, to me and to the Sangha, okay, I owe you, they don't owe you. I have enough blessings to be able to owe you and pay you back. They don't have the blessing, that's why I don't allow them. They don't need to take anything from you. I can provide for them. Because these people, my Sanghas, my people who cultivate here at the temple, they need all the blessings they can preserve in order to make progress. They can't afford to get distracted on small things like, nice food or material things. Okay, those, yes, I have some petty people like that in my system within the Sangha. That's natural. One day I hope they wake up. I hope they don't think that we don't know. We tolerate them. Just because we tolerate them doesn't mean we don't know. Okay? The Sangha is not perfect. Sangha is a work in progress. Okay? But the concept here is that when you take anything at all, you maneuver yourself in order to get donations from people. Okay? You owe them. This is a concept here in slide number 2. Okay? If you take anything at all for yourself, you owe. You take anything for the temple on my behalf, okay? And I owe them. You don't owe them. But if you plot for your own comfort, for your own advantages, you owe them. I'm free. I'm saving blessings. It's your blessings who will suffer. Okay? So, number 3, slide number 3. Master YongHua says, we all know that when you take that silk there from the donor, you owe them. So how are you gonna pay that person back? And Master Lingyo knocked on the meditation bed. I think apparently back then they used that. Maybe lack of furniture in a mountain, so they would sit on the meditation off the floor, raised off the floor, okay, for their own protection, away from the dampness and humidity of the ground. And so you want to raise, sit on a chan bed. And apparently they also, by the time they're done, they just simply lean back and sleep on the bed, so they don't have to go anywhere. You see, the system is that they're able to cultivate without any worries about food, about lodging, about anything at all. That's part of the training. Okay? And so Master Yingyo, the answer is that I paid back by meditating, by practicing Chan. Okay? You don't need to go into the exact details, but this is right there, folks, in the Wei Yang lineage, all of you. Whether it's left home people or lay people, if you go and join the Chan Chi that's coming up, and all the cultivation here, whether it's morning ceremony, evening ceremony, eat lunch and whatever, and you go there with the mindset of cultivating, okay, you owe nothing. But you come to spy on me, to steal from me, boy, you're going to have to pay me back. Okay? Fair game. We're helping everyone cultivate freely because it's my blessings. I accept these things to enable you to cultivate without worrying about karmic debt, without worrying about money, and so forth. Okay? Cultivation is for everyone. We help everyone indiscriminately. But if you come to take advantage of us and do that, okay, we do it a few times, I will forgive you. But you consistently do that, you're going to get in trouble. Okay, we cultivate here, folks. Okay, so that's the Wei-Yang spirit. If you come to us and you cultivate, okay, you don't have to worry about anything, about any karmic debts. Yes, Wei-Shan, Wei-Mountain, not Wei-Shan.
Hello, Master. So you said when we are able to participate in any temple activity, then we are getting help from your Sangha member or you. Now my question is, so if we don't show up, like let's say we're not able to make it to a temple activity, then are we still getting help?
Help for what? I don't understand the question.
Like the Sangha member. So like when we come to, maybe in right now, listening to your talk, you are shouldering our karmic burden, helping us. But so if let's say today I don't show up, then you don't have to shoulder my burden, right? Then I don't get help. Is that how they work?
You're not cultivating with us. Why should I help you? I have plenty of people to help because they're cultivating with me. When you cultivate with me, you are asking me for help. Okay? So depending on the degrees of cultivation you want, okay? If you want, there's a lot of people online who say, okay, I just want to listen in and I want to listen a little bit. Yes, you get a little bit of help. But when, for something as intensive as a Chanchi, okay, or cultivation in a temple, is a more intensive level. That's when you get a lot more help than you realize, for free. All the help we give to you for free. It's not a problem at all. This is what we do. This is what our ancestors did. That's how they started. And we carry on that tradition.
So that means if I don't make it to the Chanchi, I don't get help. But I do make it to the Chanchi, then I get help.
I hope so.
That's how they work for, like...
Yeah.
So Daniel gets help also?
Who?
Daniel, the Catholic, he shows up.
He shows up and he gets help. He may reject it, but we still help him.
Thank you, Master.
When you help, it's funny, these Catholics, they reject certain Buddhist help because they're aware of it, they reject it. But there are a lot of Buddhist help they can't reject because they're not aware of it. We always have the last laugh. Of course, when you come to the temple, you make the effort. Of course, we pay more attention to you. We're more protected of you. Okay? Because you have to make the effort. You can't just say, let me cultivate and be comfortable. No. This is tradition back then. You have to make the effort to come, okay, to participate. Back then, transportation was not convenient at all, and people still came quite a ways. And that's part of the training, okay? Okay, so Master Yangshan, Master Lingyo says, Master Wei-Shan says, hey, this is what we all do. This is by Buddhist tradition. You only have to cultivate to pay back the karmic debts. And Master Yangshan said, how can the master take the common property for his personal use? And Master Yangshan immediately asked him, you, in paying back the silk you receive, you actually are taking the common property. You're utilizing common property. So what does it mean? I'm running out of time, so I'm not going to try to have a long discussion at all. Okay, here Master Yang Shan understands the side of it. He says, two sides of this. Okay, the personal use and common property. Okay, so you have to be aware of it. That Master Yang Shan was aware of it. That yes, when we accept things from donors, there's a personal debt there. Okay, but also now when we use common properties of the temples are stuff that the temples are properties of the triple jewel of the 10 directions. It's not just for us alone. All the sanghas are entitled to make use of this property. Okay, it's all the buildings here, all the things we have inside are actually for the use of the permanently dwelling sangha of the 10 directions. Believe it or not. I'm simply a manager. I'm simply a property manager, that's all. Okay? When people make a donation to it, make offerings to us, it's make offerings, they're making offerings to the sangha of the 10 directions. They come here, many of them come here to cultivate with us, as you can imagine, because you get protection, you get help, they get instruction, okay, in order to cultivate. That's why a lot more come cultivate than you realize. Okay, and not only that, because of that system, also we have a lot of help from the Sangha of 10 directions. Okay, for example, in some cases where the people who come here are stronger than me, or better than me, then of course I get help because of that spirit. Because this is for everyone, not just me, not just my disciples. It's for everyone to come and practice, cultivate together. Okay, in our tradition, in tradition of Mahayana, Wei-Yang tradition, and therefore, I'm not alone in doing this for you. Yes, we have physical things here, but in terms of help, protection, guidance, and so forth, okay, you have at your disposal the entire Sangha of 10 directions watching over us in our cultivation. That's how powerful it is, believe it or not, because it's never about me. It's never about any of us. It's about cultivation. Okay? The system here designed to assist people in the cultivation. So therefore, if you do it right, we get help, a lot of help from all over the Sangha of the 10 directions. Okay? So that's what it's meant by common property. Common property here is for all the Sangha of 10 directions. Okay? They're entitled to use it. If you have that spirit, that kind of mindset, this is why you're protected by the Sangha of the 10 directions, and you're helped by the Sangha of 10 directions. Make no mistakes about it. Okay? And so now the question in Master Yang Shan, how can a master take the common property for his personal use? You see? And so and the anecdote stops here. Usually you have like Master Yang Shan stopped or Master Wei Shan stopped or something. But this is meant to be open-ended. Okay? He says here, when you use the property of the triple jewel, the 10 directions, okay, the common property, okay, you have to be aware of it. You have to know that you have to be clear about, are you doing it for yourself or to benefit others? So Master Yang Shan impressively was aware of it already. He says, yeah, you are cultivating, okay, using this Chan bed here for your personal cultivation to pay back the donor's debt for the gift of silk. Meaning that for the gift of silk, if Master Wei Shan uses it, okay, and that helps his cultivation, the blessings that Master Wei Shan generates from his cultivation, part of it goes back to the donor of the silk, the donor of the food, the donor of the water, the donor of the incense, the donor of the flowers, okay, the donor of the people who came and cleaned and swept the yard, okay. Everyone who helped out in the temple with the cultivation, in the cultivation temples, they get a share of the cultivation of everyone who takes advantage of it. This is public mindset. Okay? And so that's why Master Yang Shan says, we are aware of this common property. Okay? How are you using the common property for your personal use? Okay? So this is Master Yang Shan's level of this nature, his heart. Okay? He says, I, as a Chan student, okay, as a Chan practitioner, under your own temple, my master's temple, okay, whatever I use, okay, it's still common property. Okay, and therefore, none of it is really for me. And so, how do you answer this? It's an open-ended question where the anecdote stopped. Is there an answer for this? Why didn't Master Wei Shan answer this? Why wasn't there a closing point? Don't you all expect a neat and clean solution to this? I sit for 12 hours and reach a level of enlightenment equivalent to 5/5 ground bodhisattva. Then my debt is paid. Okay? Oh, I forgot. I shouldn't expect answers from you. Okay? There is no answer. It's just a mindset. Whatever I accept from you, I ask myself, is it for personal use or for community use? If it's community use, it's no problem. Okay? Because it's for everyone. We accept, let's say, flowers, we accept incense, it's for everyone to use, not just for myself. But when you accept stuff for your own use, okay, you have to be extremely careful. Okay? Because if you're not, it affects your progress. So the mindset here, Master Yang Shan, Wei Shan are setting up is that it's public spirit, it's not personal stuff, okay? Even when we accept personal stuff, is it for personal use, for just benefit ourselves, or is it to benefit others? If you take it to benefit ourselves only, there's a karmic debt. Okay? That you have to personally pay for it yourself. But if you accept it in a spirit of public use, of helping, okay, ultimate is to help others, okay, then it's a karmic debt for who? All the permanently dwelling Sangha of the 10 directions. We all helped to help you. Is that clear? Understand? Especially you Sanghans. Are you taking offering? Are you accepting things for your own use or your own comfort? Okay? Or is it in order to cultivate? Okay? In order to benefit all living beings. If you do that, then you, it's no longer personal use. So this is a question we all have to ask ourselves. Okay? There's no answer. You only have to ask yourself. And so, depending on your level of wisdom, the Sanghans who accept these things, depending on your level of wisdom, they will be able to be more public spirited in spite of accepting personal offerings. I don't know if that makes sense to you. Okay? But it's no clear-cut answers for you. There's nothing I can say it's 10 of these or 7 of those. No, it's about, we always ask ourselves this mindset where in our lineage we ask ourselves, okay? Are we doing it for ourselves? Are we doing it for others? Okay? If you do it for yourself, yes, you still are paying it back. Okay? Like Master YongHua says, if I accept this piece of silk and use it for myself, okay, then I'm paying it back already. Okay? That's the answer. However, Master YongHua also says, I go a step further. Okay? You may be it at personal use. You use the personal. What about, have you thought about the common property? You use the bed there. The bed there is a common property, not personal property. How are you paying it back? And that's a question that we cultivators have to ask ourselves. There's no answer. You only need to ask yourself the question. And one day you find the answer yourself. That's all I got for you. I know you want a neat and wrapped up answer, but no such answer today. To be continued is the answer. You will have to decide for yourself. Okay? Thank you, everyone. We stop here today.
Hi, 谢谢林医师。